seatbelt on?
You can take it off.
Yeah.
Everybody, welcome. This is ISSASERIES here, and I am with Miss Tyra Costello here. If you'd like to actually introduce yourself, I tried to do it for you. But.
Well, like Miss Annie said, Tyra Costello, I am in the car, and I'm excited.
Can you tell them the name and where they can find you if they're looking for you?
Yes, so my vintage rack, it's actually a mobile vintage rack, so it's available for pop-up at markets, local businesses, but it's pretty much like a curated rack of things that I've collected, items, accessories, shoes, from like New York, Atlanta, California, and yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's how I always known you as. I mean, I've seen you multiple places. I know you obviously too because you're Sadie's older sister.
Yes,
but you've always been very sharp and very well dressed. Had the craziest glasses all the time, and just always killed it. Even when I see you at work and stuff like that, it's just always been something second nature.
It's just always been something that I've just, you know, been really into and had a passion for, and I just, for me, clothes, fashion, it's just an expression.
Okay.
You know, so one day I might have on sweatpants, the other day I might have on a two-piece, you know, it's just a way for me to express myself, you know, I feel good. I've never really fit into like a box, you know, so I've always just, you know, wanted to just be myself, and clothes just allowed me that outlet. Yeah. It was a more positive outlet.
See, I was just going to ask you why you started, but I feel like you kind of answered the why there too. So it was more because you've always been into this, and it's just another form of expression for you.
It is, and I feel like on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side, like, they've always been dressers. Yeah. You know what I mean? My poppy's very old school, like, creases in the pants, like, shining his shoes up. So I grew up seeing fashion, you know, and people just putting their best foot forward. And I remember my Poppy Armstrong always said, like, you know, when you go outside, like, look like something. You know what I mean? Like, put some pride into, you know, how you dress, and because people are, you know, they'll remember that stuff, you know. And like, I remember we'd go out and they'd be like, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, I'm just going down to the bar. You know what I mean? Because I never looked at it like me doing it for the attention. Do you know what I mean? It's not why I did it, you know, not to be conceited. I mean, I like attention, but that wasn't my go-to. Like, when I picked my outfit out, it's like, oh, I want to wear this because this makes me feel sexy, or I'm gonna wear this because I feel comfortable. So it's just who I've always been.
I'm gonna need some kind of style.
No, listen, I'm here, use me. You don't need to pay me either, because it's just something like when
we're gonna cut that out. Let me
stop it. When Annie first approached me, I was just excited because, again, I have literally a rack that I can pop up with amazing things, but I don't have like an actual business. You know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes people like look at that like, oh, you know, she's not serious, or whatever the case is, but I am serious, you know. So
and that's the thing, some people will have a business and something and they won't take it serious, so it's like that doesn't necessarily mean because you don't have a business, like you're taking care of business, so what is that, you know?
Exactly. What I mean? And I feel like sometimes, you know, we feel like things have to happen now, but, and not to get all spiritual, but it's like, it's God's time. You know what I mean? It's like, so I feel like wherever you are right now, it's where you're supposed to be for now. It doesn't mean you can't grow past that. So, you know, here I am, you know, and we will see what the future holds, but
you did a pop-up at Love Hair. Actually, that was really
I've
beautiful.
done a couple there. Shout out to Tia at Love Hair. I've done a couple there, actually. And then I did one over at Mariners. They had like a Christmas sale. Her name is Linda, so she had put together some things, so I was over there. But I'm totally open to, you know, doing local markets, like events, because like I said, the beautiful thing about being mobile is I can literally pop up at any place. And, you know, I like to create it so, you know, you feel like you're getting like a shopping experience. So I kind of like line it up like it would be like in an actual storefront, if that makes sense. And I just like to, you know, show a selection of different things. I think one of the best things about the rack is it's like things that you're not just gonna find like every day. Like I really put a lot of thought into like things that I purchase, but not from my own personal perspective, although that does help sometimes. But I do realize that something that works for me might not necessarily work for you. You know what I mean? So
to me personally, I'm not even big on shopping. It gets it gets overwhelming going in the stores, going through all the racks, doing all that extra stuff. I would almost kind of rather, if there was something where that could come to me or be around, that I can look at a certain selection of things that are dope and kind of choose from that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then especially if somebody puts a stylist.
Yes.
To give me more of like a nudge rather than just going in a big store and looking through a million things, getting overwhelmed and frustrated and leaving. So I feel like that's actually more convenient, especially if somebody wanted to be styled for a wedding or a party or an event,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
No,
and they
I
didn't
totally
have that
agree.
time on their hands and just reached out to you like, hey Tyra, I have a wedding that's XYZ themed or an event that's this themed. What do you think you can do for me? These are my sizes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you know what, Jessica Lene.
Okay.
I've styled her for a couple of her parties before, and it was kind
wow.
of similar where, you know, I have an event, and I just want to do something that's, you know, outside of my norm, so I'm definitely open to doing all that. I am working on a website, so that will come in the near future. But right now you can follow me on Instagram at novstudio80, novstudio80,
okay.
which I, you know, I post like some of my merchandise, newer things, and like I said, it's new and old, so it's not just all vintage, because I feel like there's like a stigma attached with vintage.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's used, or but if you really get into what the word vintage is, it's like quality.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like things that were made, unfortunately, I don't want to say years ago, but it's like better quality.
Yeah.
Like I have this amazing like tweed suit and it's actually lined.
Okay.
Or I sometimes go into like a store and it's like they want a ridiculous amount of money for this jacket, but there's like nothing to the coat.
Yeah.
Like I've always been obsessed with clothes.
Yeah, no,
always
I see
been
that.
obsessed
Like,
with
the
clothes.
outfit is crazy right now.
Thank
you,
you,
know?
Zara, for my top. But again, I was so busy trying to find something else that I didn't pay attention to, you know, what I was already doing. I used to love like black and white, like any fashion photos. Like Mercedes will tell you, my whole room used to be just all these different fashion images, you know. And my mom, you know, she was 18 when she had me, so she did the best that she could, but she was still a child. You know what I mean? So it's like we kind of grew up together. You know what I mean? But it's like, I remember playing store and my cousins coming over, and I would hang up my clothes. You know, we would play in my room and I would hang up, you know, my clothes out of my closet like an actual store.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be the cashier, but it's like nobody really paid attention to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so you really gotta
That's crazy.
pay attention and not think so hard, because most of the time your passion is what you're already doing.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Like, maybe I should have worn something different.
Stop it.
Tyra's gonna style me though today too
I'm
as well, so
excited.
you can get kind of an idea of the different looks that she does, because I feel like I've seen her do all different types of looks, from like summer fun looks to professional looks.
Thank you.
And gosh, just funky.
I think we got it. You look fucking amazing, dude. This is it. Yeah! I love it.
So Tyra, do you have any words of encouragement for anybody out there, whether they're into fashion or into music or into sewing, even anything at all? Like, what are your words of advice for the world, would you say?
That's a good question. I would have to say, just be yourself. In whatever way, shape, and form that is. Don't let outsiders, haters, family members, even relationships, friendships, don't let people make you feel like you have to conform in some sort of box. You know, because it's just not a fulfilling feeling. You know what I mean? Trying to always people please and do things for what other people think that you should do. Like, you only get one life, you know, and you have to live it your way. And even though it might sound crazy, like if I would have listened to everybody that called me crazy, I would have never left Kingston. And leaving Kingston saved my life. So whatever your conversations are, or just be mindful, and be mindful who you're talking to, because people love to project their stuff on other people. So because they don't have the courage to leave, they'll say, oh, you know, you're crazy. What are you gonna do? What if? That's life, you know, life, and it's a beautiful life. but it's your life and you have to live it your way, your rules, because at the end of the night, it's you and your bed and your conscience, you know? And I feel like I sleep pretty good at night because I live my life for me, you know? And I have a child that I'm raising, and I want her to see that, you know, she doesn't have to stay in this box, you know? One day she wants to paint, one day I'm ordering nails off Amazon. Whatever makes her happy, whatever makes you happy, I encourage you to do that.
All right, now maybe wait for me.
I heard that those plants can like burn you.
What plants?
Those white plants. Are those? Oh, maybe not. Those are not the ones.
You want to try it?
No.
All right.